I believe most of the people should get married.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll say this. I believe if you want children, you should get married. I believe if you're trying to even build wealth together, marriage is a great tool for that. I think the people who have the greatest argument against marriage are people who are already very wealthy, or people who don't want kids. Marriage is about stability as well. And so having that one person that I can rely on, connect with, build with, and create substance with, because a lot of these casual situations don't create substance. So to me, there's just a deeper bonding that can occur through marriage. So that's why I would still be all for it. So I think people don't understand, just because you are knowledgeable does not equate to, one, finding the right person who fits into your life.
Facts.
And more specifically, finding that person that God wants you to accept into your life.
There it is.
And once you have God in the equation, it throws everything off, because you might swear you ready, right? And you're thinking, nah, man, this is it. This is going to be the year. I done did everything I'm supposed to do. But for all you know, there's a few more things God wants you to set up before he can bring your partner. And so despite your ability to attract people and to have options, so to speak, it doesn't equate to God saying it's time now. And that's a battle that you have to face within, because again, when you do have great options, I meet wonderful women all the time.
Yeah, of course.
It's hard to convince yourself, don't take it, because spiritually you're being told, nah, this isn't it yet. You know what I'm saying? And again, it ain't nothing wrong with a lot of the women that I'm meeting. And of course, there are women out there who got issues, but ultimately the God aspect of it, makes it much more difficult. And it also creates an environment where people may not understand. So when I say to someone, well, God has not said this is it, it sounds like to a lot of people you're making excuses. Or you're just rejecting, or you're scapegoating God. And it's like, nah, if you've been through what I've been through, you would know, like, I can't ignore the spiritual voice. I have to listen to it. Now, let me say this. There's always exceptions to the rule. I have seen some situations, like there was one client I had, the man proposed to her. She declined because family did not want her to marry him. It was due to cultural differences.
Okay.
And then something happened, she had a revelation, and then she realized, you know what, this is the man of my dreams, and then she proposed to him. To me, that makes sense. He had already done it. But in most cases, what you'll find is that when the woman proposes, it's because deep inside she know this man ain't gonna do it. And she's trying to secure her position. And then God forbid they do it in front of an audience, all right? So that you knew he wasn't gonna do it on his own. Now you put him in front of people so that it makes it harder for him to say no, all right? And I've had men tell me who are married, the only reason why they're married because they were too afraid to say no. Of course, men should not be so weak in that area that they can't stand on their truth and say what it is. But I always say men struggle with rejecting women because we're not accustomed to being in that position.
Facts.
So it's a more likely chance that he will say yes even though he doesn't want it, compared to a woman who's more accustomed to rejection, so it's easier for her to say no if she doesn't want it. So a connection is, one, I believe connection is when our spirit recognizes our match,
Facts.
all right?
Facts.
And in connection, we can truly be ourselves with each other. We like each other at our core, all right? And so who we present ourselves to be, and as we go deeper into each other, it's not gonna scare us away. See, a lot of people don't go deeper and expose themselves because they're afraid to push the person away. But when there's a connection, you can't scare them away. No matter how deep you go, no matter how crazy it sounds, they're willing to embrace those things.
That's good.
Whereas attachment is very surface driven, all right? And it's usually, and it can be based on various things. You could be attached because you're infatuated based off of looks. You could be attached because you spent so much time on this person, you don't want to let go of that. Yes, they grew on you. You could be attached because, like in this situation, it was a form of, they became my best friend. And so now, thinking of them being gone kind of hit me in a way, and that made me think, oh, this must mean this is it. You know what I'm saying? So attachment can go in so many different directions, but it is very surface driven. And what you'll find in a lot of cases where men feel like they're in love with this woman, and this happens to women as well, They're in love with what they believe her potential really is. So now you saying I'm in love with her is based off my belief that if she could just be this regularly, if we could just get rid of this issue, we'd be good. But what you don't realize is when she heals and when you heal, because if you're holding on to that, if you are in an unhealthy attachment, chances are there's some things you haven't healed from.
Facts.
You may realize this ain't gonna work. You may realize that at your healthiest and at her healthiest, y'all don't fit together. But you can't see that because you're blinded by whatever issues you're holding on to. And again, you're holding on to the nice image of them, not the full reality of them.